Renata Villanova Lobo of JP Morgan Payments. We're talking all things SEPA. First, start off with SEPA. I mean, what do you see the cross-border impact of SEPA on European and global interoperability?
So when we look at the G20 principles around payments, right? So aiming at delivering faster, safer, cheaper payments with more transparency. I think one key barrier that is preventing us from getting there is the lack of global interoperability, right? So this is really a key challenge that we need to overcome so we can really improve the way we operate within cross-border payments. And I think SEPA has been extremely successful in defining common standards, right, around format messages and data requirements, processing rules within the Eurozone. And this is allowing interoperability within countries in that zone. And I think that the experience of users when interacting through SEPA is extremely positive. And the same expectation we all have when interacting outside of SEPA. So I think that defining common standards is really critical for us to achieve global interoperability. And I think SEPA has proven the importance of those common standards in terms of improving the way we operate in the cross-border payment space. And I think it's really pushing other regions to do the same. So hopefully we'll get there very soon.
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. And with that being said, what are we talking about? We're talking about Quant Network in this one and the digital euro. Yes, we have an update on the digital euro. Follow me on this, okay, you guys? But before we get too deep, I want to thank each and every single one of you. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank y'all for commenting. I truly do appreciate each and every single one of you. And I appreciate anyone that finds value in the information that's being disseminated in the videos, okay, you guys? Follow me on this. So we've already tied Quant Network to the digital euro via an announcement from Quant Network and an announcement from the ECB, the European Central Bank.
Quant is actually being utilized within this digital euro project. So we have here the full breakdown. Gilbert Verdian himself. We have the expertise and experience to deliver a programmable payment use case as part of the ECB's wider vision for a digital euro. And we do have down here that we are honored to have been selected, and as leaders in DLT, programmability and interoperability, we have the technical expertise, strategic insight, and extensive institutional experience to deliver a programmable payment use case as part of the ECB's wider vision for a digital euro. Over the last 5 years, we have built a strong portfolio of deep industry expertise in secure payments infrastructure, orchestration, and interoperability of DLT and non-DLT payment rails, settlement of all forms of money, including tokenized money, commercial bank deposits and settlement systems, and distributed, centralized, and unified ledger models, all of which were utilized in the successful delivery of the projects, including the UK's Regulated Liability Network and the BIS and the Bank of England's Project Rosalind Retail CBDC, which is the digital pound. These initiatives highlight our ability to deliver innovative, secure, and compliant technology that supports fiat and digital payments for central and commercial banking institutions, both nationally and cross-border. Quant's pioneer role will focus on embedding our programmability capabilities, testing conditional payments with the ECB, and embedding programmability at the wallet layer. Using our existing programmable payments technology linked to the ECB's digital euro service platform, we will enable conditional payments in the digital euro in a P2P marketplace use case.
So now that we know without a shadow of a doubt, Quant Network is associated with building out the digital euro framework for its digital currency throughout the European diaspora, I brought you a video about something called SEPA. And it stands for Single Euro Payments Area. And we have Quant Network speaking at multiple Euro payment events, things like EBA Day, okay? Follow me on this, but before we get too deep, I want to hop into this video coming from, you have key individuals that are in the European diaspora at major central banks and commercial banks, now talking about the process of moving on to distributed ledger technologies. And understand and know the central infrastructure of that is Quant Network's technology Overledger utilizing the QNT token. I will be right back.
partnership, and I'm sure that we are close to the inflection point. Thomas mentioned close to the kind of ChatGPT moment for DLT, and we will see a massive acceleration over the coming month. And last point, Alex, looking at the digital payment side, I think what the ECB and the leading central banks as a part of the exploratory phase, Deutsche Bundesbank, Banque de France, Banca d'Italia, what they did during the exploratory phase in 24, the consultation with the market, and now with the go live in September of wholesale CBDC, that's something we haven't envisaged from a global perspective. So having this variety of digital payments going forward, on the one hand, the public payment with the ECB as a stability anchor, and on the other hand, the private elements with tokenized deposits and with stable coins. So I think we are on an extremely good path here in Europe, and now we really should collaborate to go into an acceleration mode.
Now, you guys, you just heard from those key individuals. You guys understand this is truly happening. Quant Network is building out an incredible ecosystem of central banks, governments, commercial banks, multinational corporations on every level imaginable in 63 countries. This is not hype. This is not speculation. This is not, maybes. This is already signed, sealed, delivered, and the ink is dried. Solutions to their existing problem of not being able to move into Web3 securely, regulatory compliantly. Please follow me and understand what's happening right now in 2026, okay? But if you have any doubt about Quant Network being at a major event in the EU, I'm going to throw you this clip in from EBA Day. Listen to the words coming out of Quant Network's CEO's mouth in regards to these payments. Understand what's happening. We have the build out of countries' economies moving onto blockchain and distributed technologies, and you have Quant Network being the central infrastructure of it all. I will be right back.
So if you look at the system today, we don't have digital money. We've got electronic money. And money today can only do two things. It's a push and a pull. So we're very limited with the current system that we've inherited because there's not much else you can do with the money and the whole financial system. And what we set out to do with the work that we've done using DLT and the work in central bank digital currencies, we set out to find what is so different about digital currency, digital money. And so what we've seen is we're moving to digital finance because we're transforming the nature of money from electronic to digital. And that means programmability plays a big part. It gives the ability to program logic into money for the first time. You can code events, actions, all of those things that are very complicated to do on both ends of a transaction. You can embed that into money. And so programmability is a way for you to automate very complex B2B consumer workflows into money. And a very simple example, if I can say, is direct debits. Yeah. So you get paid at the end of the month, your salary comes in, you've got your direct debits, and your utilities mortgage, it goes out. Sometimes, for whatever reason, money is taken out before your salary is put in, so you're overdrawn. And that's a really bad experience, you get all the texts. So what you can do with programmability is you can say, when my salary is paid, 1 hour after it's paid, take my mortgage, take my utility, take my phone bills. And that's programmability. So it's a bit of a game changer in the way you transact.
What about the role of RLN? What role does RLN play in programmable payments, in your opinion, in advancing that kind of process?
So the whole transformation of electronic to digital has to be a collaborative method. Each bank can't do it on their own. So RLN is a project that all the banks came together. There's RLN UK, which we're involved in, and it's a way where the banks are building, co-designing, and creating tokenized money, digital money, with all their counterparties and their peers. And so what we're doing in the project is really enabling the whole infrastructure, connecting to banks using traditional connections and traditional rails, but then connecting to digital CBDCs and other types of rails where you can have interoperability of all forms of money. So in RLN, it's the industry innovating and it's the industry collaborating to build the next generation of payment infrastructure.
Sure.
Now you guys just heard directly from Gilbert Verdian. I don't have to say any more. Truly know what you hold when you hold QNT, okay, you guys? I'm gonna say this in a lot of videos moving forward because that person who I am refusing to name have spooked some people in regards to QNT. So please understand, you hold a piece of global financial infrastructure. Don't let nobody fudge you out of the most incredible opportunity anyone in retail has ever had. QNT and the network effects that Overledger is going to compound over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 decades is going to be historic. Because like Gilbert Verdian said himself, it's not every day that they literally replace the core of banking infrastructure.
As they need. Integrating something into core banking is a very complicated process. They don't want to do that every few years.
And this is the reason why it has taken so long for this project to actually get up and running, because this decade plus of standardization, this decade plus of building out the different working arms of this whole thing, things like secure asset transfer protocol coming out of the IETF. These are all arms of this thing. Things like ISO TC307. Things like being ISO 20022 compliant from the inception of all of their products. QuantNet, QuantFlow, Quant PayScripts, Overledger Authorized, Overwallet, Overledger platform itself. Understand, you guys, these moves have been methodically done because it's not some Web3 degen. You have someone who has been at the head and the top of cybersecurity in some of the largest institutions like the Bank of England, like the literally Her Majesty's Treasury at the time, because that's when Queen Elizabeth was in charge of it. And now it's His Majesty's Treasury with King Charles. But things like the Australian healthcare system and the interoperable blockchain that Gilbert Verdian, the man you just saw, built out for it.
Forward to 2014, I was working in healthcare in the Department of Health. I had an issue where health records were all over the place and I couldn't connect them together. So what I thought of was, you know what, blockchain can solve this. It's a good use case to solve it. So I ended up solving it for healthcare, for the department. But at the same time, the ISO people said, can we turn this into a standard? This is a really good idea. So I ended up founding TC307, which is the ISO standard for blockchain. So
like, truly understand what is truly being pieced together right now. And you have the opportunity to own a piece of the network, to own a piece of the protocol, to own a piece of the thing that is going to literally push every transaction through it. There's going to come a time where being known as a whole QNT holder is going to be something to be like, you have a whole QNT? You mark my words, you guys. Now, again, not financial advice, but I would just be accumulating. I would be dollar cost averaging. I'm just being real, being transparent, talking into a mirror, because in my eyes, with the evidence that's being presented by QNT themselves, Quant Network, and all of their global participants that have already named them by name, people like Oracle, understand, I would just be positioning myself alongside of the central banks and the governments, because in my lifetime, at least, what the government want to do, they do, and we follow, period. Short of a revolution. I won't even go there. Just know what's happening and know that you have something like the Bank of International Settlements, and you have things like literally countries standardizing bodies having mirror committees of ISO TC307. And know that if that's a mirror committee, that means it's just that, it's a mirror, it's a reflection. So that mirror committee in those 63 countries, after the standardization of ISO TC307's working group, literally 7 interoperable standard was just published last month. That then brought on the mirror committee of that country into Overledger's hemisphere because it is a mirror committee. Things like NIST here in the UK, in the US. I brought you guys the connections between Quant and NIST. Literally one of the higher ups at NIST literally sit on ISO TC307. She is a liaison.
Computer Security Division, CSD, and Applied Cybersecurity Division called ACD has this whole thing of what? The participants, or what they participate in, I should say, they held a leadership in ISO TC307 on blockchain distributed ledger technologies and its United States Mirror Committee. So what you saw, back to what I shared earlier, of those two people signing off on it, they hold leadership positions in ISO TC307 and blockchain distributed ledger technologies and its United States Mirror Committee.
Understand what you hold. As a matter of fact, I will throw that video of Gilbert Burdian talking about NIST, being a part of ISO TC307 in this mirror committee. I will be right back.
Is get involved with your local organization mirror. So every country has its own standardization committee. So get involved with the local one. And in TC307, we have a really good mix of experts. We have hundreds of people from all around the world, and they come from industry. We've got people from Oracle, Google, IBM, where I work at Quant. We've got people from government bodies such as NIST in the US. We've got people.
You guys truly know what you hold when you hold QNT.
Overledger platform from Quant establishes a new benchmark for blockchain interoperability and ease of use. As a low-code enterprise-grade platform, Overledger empowers you to deploy, connect, and develop on any blockchain quickly and simply. With Overledger, you can generate an interoperable digital asset with just a few clicks, create secure smart contracts that can execute on any blockchain without having to hire a team of experts. And you can use its advanced APIs to integrate with your systems and manage your assets on multiple chains. We believe that the blockchain economy should be simple, trusted, and future-proof. These are our principles and the genesis of Overledger Platform, the enterprise standard for building on blockchain.
You hold a piece of global financial infrastructure, okay? I won't hold y'all too much longer. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for tapping in. If you made it all the way through this entire video, type in the digital euro, because what Quant Network has going on with every single central bank that falls up under the Bank of International Settlements jurisdiction, which encompasses the ECB, which encompasses all 27 countries that use the euro, which brings them into SEPA, the single euro payments area. Understand the central infrastructure of that is Quant Network's Overledger. Till the next time, y'all already know. I appreciate you. I truly do. Peace out.